What's going on, guys? Shane here with another Fight Tips quick tip. So today we're talking about the rematch between Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz at UFC 202, and we're going to go over a couple of the keys to victory for Conor McGregor. Then I'll share my predictions for you at the end, and I want to hear yours as well in the comment section below. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about is Conor McGregor's stamina level. He needs to conserve energy this time around. If you watch the first fight, he did great in the first round, did great in the first half of the second round, but that's when he got tired. His legs starting to straighten out, his feet were flat, and his head movement wasn't as quick as it was in the previous round. He went to slip Diaz's jab and then counter with that rear uppercut like he was doing, and it was working for him. As he said in interviews leading up to it, how Diaz tends to lean in on his jab, and he wanted to counter that. However, when he was getting tired, he wasn't as quick to the punch, and he got caught with Diaz's cross. So this time around, I really believe he needs to conserve his energy. And how's he going to do that? By not throwing so many wheel kicks to the head. I think he threw 4 that missed. Staying off of the cage. When you got a guy that's naturally taller and heavier and stronger than you, leaning on you, it takes a lot of your energy. All right, so he's going to exercise good footwork to stay away from the cage and the clinch as well. Also, Conor McGregor is training much differently for this fight going into it. In the last one, he talks about how he was eating steak up until the day before the fight, and we didn't see him doing any cardio. This time around, he's doing cycling, rowing, running, getting his cardio up. So it's going to be an interesting fight. He needs to pace himself during the fight, and now that he's training properly for it, I think it's going to be a different outcome this time around. Okay, so talking about that uppercut that he said he was going to land, he did land, but then it was the beginning of the end and ultimately his demise. I think instead of that rear uppercut, he should be throwing that lead uppercut a little bit more, okay? When he was slipping to the outside of the jab, so from that southpaw stance, Diaz was throwing the jab, he would slip to the outside and he would counter. He would do it with his hands down low, however, and that's what beat him. So he slipped to the outside, relying just on head movement, no blocking, and then he came for the uppercut. Lowering your level and standing up into an uppercut while you got a guy that tends to punch down on his crosses like Diaz does, you're going to run right into it just like he did, right on the jaw, and that's what staggered him. So what I think he needs to do more is throw that overhand right and throw it defensively. Okay, when Diaz was throwing that jab, every once in a while, McGregor would bait him a little bit by sticking his chin out. When the jab came in, he would come over top of the shoulder and he would throw his overhand left and was landing it. That's how he cut Diaz's eyebrow open with that punch. If he throws a 1-2 even and he dips his head out to the side, he slips on the inside of the jab and now on the outside of the cross, if he lands that, he can follow up with that lead uppercut like we were talking about. All right, so there's a couple right there, a couple of different strategies that he can do. And this is what his coach was telling him in between the first and the second round, was show him the left hand and then follow up with that right uppercut when he leans that way. Another thing that Diaz likes to do though in defense is throw his lead hand hook and pivot out. So if he goes out this way, then he's not going to be there for the lead uppercut from McGregor. But a good combo that McGregor did was a lead uppercut to a rear hook to the body. And he really ripped into it. And what's great about this is it's the power punch, right? It's the rear hand attacking the liver. So if you're southpaw against southpaw, your power punch is right there where the liver is close to you. So he was landing that. So I think that's a great combo right there. When the jab comes in, defensively throw that overhand left, throw that uppercut with the right hand if he leans out that way. Unless he pivots out, then he should go with a hook to the body. Okay, so this is all the boxing. Definitely should be attacking the legs. Attack the body. You got a guy that leans back a lot like Diaz, go to the body and definitely go to the legs. That lead leg that he's heavy on, could definitely be smashing that with the oblique kick that he likes to throw, Conor, or the roundhouse kick. All right, so you got conserve energy, attack the body and the legs. You got that the right uppercut, not so much the left uppercut, but use both of them. And then that overhand left defensively. My prediction for the fight, even if Conor McGregor trains properly for it and makes these adjustments, I think that Diaz's natural weight, jiu-jitsu strength, and his style of boxing is going to be still too much for McGregor. Super excited for this fight. I want to hear what you guys think, who's going to win and how, so we can start a little discussion in the comment section below. Till next time, if you haven't subscribed already, please do so you can get the fight tips before your opponent does. I'm Shane with Fight Tips, self-defense for the underdogs.